Once a sign of hope for the peoples of the valley, the Rocky Mountain Rangers became little more than a story told to comfort children. Some were slain by the courier, while others died in doomed battles with the expanding NCR threat. The mangled survivors proved no match for bandits and irradiated wildlife, now emboldened by the lack of rangers to keep their numbers culled. Soon the old trails in the woods were reclaimed by nature, until travel throughout the Pacific Northwest could only be done by the desperate and the mad.
Once the queen of the valley and the region's fortified trade hub, Vernon suffered more than most as the trade routes collapsed and the raiders moved in. Though its armored train remained unstoppable, the lack of friendly stations along the line limited its reach to barely more than outside the town's own walls. Soon refugees from north and south flooded Vernon. Kind-hearted townsfolk sheltered as many as they could, but Vernon could not possibly accommodate so many mouths for long. Harsh decisions piled upon desperation, until the former trade hub became a grim shadow of itself. Razor wire and guard towers dotted its walls, while grim-faced men patrolled its streets, punishing any dissent with immediate execution. The Council of Five, who had governed the town for so long, had found themselves replaced. The new leader of Fortress Vernon was known only as the General, and he took it upon himself to ensure the town's survival, no matter the cost.
Already weakened from their renewed war against the hill tribes across the valley and the bandit forces of the Scrap King, the people of Clifftown were easy prey for the steadily increasing packs of rat bears and geese that filled the valley and mountains. Soon the cliff was surrounded by deadly wildlife. With no escape and starvation setting in, some townsfolk tried their luck in an escape through the wilderness, while others hurled themselves from the cliffs in despair.
Their tensions at a boiling point, the Lakers went to war against their brothers in Serpent City. For weeks, the lakes ran red with blood as failed landings and counterattacks rippled through the valley. In the end, there was no winner. Both sides had bled each other to the point of breaking. Soon, bandits and raiders fell upon the weakened Serpent City, while the last remains of the Lakers followed the rivers north to seek safety in the wilderness of Queen's Kneel. Of those who ran, few survived.
Stubborn until the end, Arnston chose to cut itself off from the outside world, trusting in its guns and steel to see off any threat. In truth, the town withered on the vine once the valley's trade routes collapsed, and starvation soon forced the steel grunts to leave their mill behind in a desperate search for resources. Some were fallen upon by raiders or wildlife, while others integrated with the hill tribes or enlisted in the militias of Mount Vernon. Arnston itself was abandoned, a picked-over carcass of steel standing tribute to the foolishness of selfish pride.